Y'all want to see what Ruben up to after Euphoria? Charlie first met Emma at a coffee shop. He creepily goes to her book while she grabs her coffee so he can look it up and act like he knows what it's about. He liked her right away, so Charlie tried to hit on Emma by talking about the book she was reading. Emma ignored him, so he was about to leave. Just then, Emma turned and revealed she couldn't hear Charlie because she was deaf in the right ear. Realizing she missed everything Charlie said, Emma suggested they give it another try. This was 2 years ago. Now Charlie is writing his speech for their upcoming wedding. His best friend Mike is helping him out. Charlie also wants to talk about Emma's laugh, her pranks on him, and even their intense backbreaking activities. But Mike advises Charlie not to talk about his below-average carrot in front of guests. Meanwhile, Emma is also asking for the help of her friends, Rachel and Alice. She thinks of mentioning their first kiss in her speech. While looking back at the memories, Emma remembers having a panic attack when she realized that she was in love with Charlie. She admits that she didn't really have anyone before because she considered herself ugly. She met Charlie when she was 28 and considers him her first love. Charlie's almost done with his speech, and he writes about confessing his love for Emma. He did it by whispering in her deaf ear.
Hey, how you doing, little mama? Let me whisper in your ear.
But Emma didn't get it and totally missed it when Charlie confessed he wanted to marry her. The speech is sad enough to make Mike cry like a little bitch. Because the wedding is in a few days, Charlie and Emma practice the choreography for the dance more seriously. Charlie is his awkward self while Emma remains playful. When Emma changes the music to make Charlie laugh, the dance instructor gets annoyed.
Hey, can we stop around?
Later that night, they catch their wedding DJ, Pauline, smoking heroin on the streets. They mention that to Mike and Rachel, and they argue whether that's enough reason to fire Pauline. Emma thinks it's no big deal, although Mike tells them to just find a new DJ. While tasting wines for the wedding, Rachel suggests they confess the worst thing they've ever done. She and Mike did it before they got married and think it would be fun to have Emma and Charlie do the same. Mike doesn't want to talk, but Rachel insists. So Mike reveals that he hid behind his ex-girlfriend while she was being bitten by a dog. After that, Rachel reveals that when she was young, she locked a boy in a closet in an abandoned RV in the woods. She didn't say anything to anybody and left the boy there overnight. Luckily, the boy was found by a search party the next day. Damn, Rachel is a hoe. Emma is evidently bothered by the story, but she didn't want to ruin the night, so they continued. Charlie admits that he cyberbullied someone when he was 14, and it was so bad that the student moved to Forks, Washington with his family. When it's Emma's turn, she doesn't want to confess. But no one is letting her off the hook, so she reveals that she planned a school shooting when she was 15. She also confesses to bringing her dad's rifle to school. Everyone's a little drunk, so Charlie keeps laughing because he thinks Emma's just lying. So Emma reveals that the reason she's deaf is because she used to practice shooting using her dad's rifle. Rachel is furious. She tells Emma that her cousin Sam is paralyzed because of a school shooting. The argument escalates. When Emma tries to speak up, she ends up vomiting, exorcism style, on the entire table. The next day, Charlie can't help but think about Emma's confession. When Emma wakes up with Charlie gone, she worries that he has changed his mind about the wedding. Just then, Charlie returns with some coffee. Emma doesn't want to talk about what she said, but Charlie needs some explanation. He wants to know how a young girl even came up with the idea. He's worried that she's a psychopath, so hearing the truth from her will put him at ease. Having no other choice, Emma admits that they moved more than a few times when she was young. They moved to Louisiana when she was 14 and didn't have friends back then. She thought everyone hated her. On top of that, she was intrigued by the aesthetics of being a mass shooter. The gun, the videos, and the teenage angst all curled into one. Them drugs really messed up Rue. That day, they meet with the wedding photographer, Francis.
I'll shoot you first, then your parents.
While Francis is taking some sample photos, Charlie's mind wanders. Francis asks what they like about each other, and Charlie reveals that Emma is kind and empathetic. However, Charlie can't help but think that the teenage version of Emma who planned a school shooting is still inside her. He thinks about the times Emma snapped and lost her cool. Later, Charlie asks how close Emma was to shooting up a school. Emma admits that she went as far as taking a video to be shown after the school shooting.
Probably want to know why. Why did she do it?
However, it always failed because Windows wanted to keep updating. A few days after that, there was a shooting at the mall where 3 people died, including a student from their school, Marcus. The teachers quickly acted and conducted activities to help students process their emotions. That was when Emma realized how serious it was and she broke down in tears. When young Emma spoke up and said it wasn't only males who thought about school shootings, someone took notice. A young boy wanted to organize a group against gun violence, and he invited Emma to join. Emma was even chosen as a speaker for the group. Because of that, Emma found a new circle of friends. She deleted her videos, threw away her father's gun, and even the video camera. She also became deeply involved in protests against gun violence. Emma explains that she felt like she woke up from a bad dream. She insists that she never had any violent urges after that. Emma gets extremely upset because she's worried that Charlie will not look at her the same way again. So Charlie pulls her into a tight hug and comforts her. Emma should be the one worried if Charlie is still a vampire. Charlie keeps saying that everything is okay. However, he is bothered enough to throw away his mug with a gun drawing on the side. He also edits his wedding speech because he doesn't feel it's right to still describe Emma as empathetic and the kindest person he's ever met. When Emma sees the mug, she knows that Charlie is somewhat afraid of her. He even gets spooked when she comes into the room with a knife, so she brandishes it towards him jokingly. "Girl, don't play with that white man." To come to terms with Emma's past violent ideas, Charlie copes by mentioning Emma's young neighbor who died of a car accident when Emma was just 10. He thinks that could have been the reason Emma thought about shooting up the school, but Emma is sure that it has nothing to do with that. A few days before the big day, Charlie returns to work. Someone has left a photo book of women holding guns in his office, but he doesn't know who it's from. Meanwhile, Emma tells Alice to fire Rachel from their project. She says Rachel is busy, but the truth is that she can no longer contact her friend. That night, Emma and Charlie try to bring the heat back to their bedroom, but Charlie can't get his little peanut up. Emma suggests they try it again as if they're meeting for the first time, but Charlie doesn't think it'll work, and they end up having an explosive argument. The next day, Charlie tries convincing Rachel not to back out as the maid of honor. Rachel is pissed that Emma had her removed from the marketing project with Alice. In addition to that, she's still not over Emma's confession. So Charlie says Rachel was the one who locked up a child in a closet. Clock it, because Rachel acts like she's on a moral high ground when she literally could have killed that child. Charlie adds that there are a lot of mass shootings in America, and a lot of people probably have thought about it but don't go through with it. But Rachel is not buying it. So Charlie mentions the story about Emma witnessing her friend's death when she was just 10. He says it messed Emma up because she didn't get any therapy afterwards. Still, Rachel remains angry with Emma. It doesn't help that she's about to meet with her cousin Sam, who was paralyzed because of a school shooting. So when Charlie sees Sam outside, he introduces himself and tries to lighten things up in his own awkward way. But Sam is weirded out by the conversation, so she nopes the out of there. Emma's confession continues to burden Charlie. One time, he asks his assistant, Misha, some hypothetical questions. It's after Misha admits she cheated on her boyfriend, before with an older married man. Charlie proceeds to ask Misha what she would do if her boyfriend, Blake, had planned a school shooting as a teenager. No matter the explanation, Misha's answer is fixed. She'd call the police and wouldn't believe it even if her boyfriend said he had changed. Charlie gets really angry before he finally breaks down. As Misha comforts him, Charlie pulls her in a kiss and bends her over. Before they cross that line, Charlie stops. He apologizes for what he did, and Misha just lets it go. Misha, aho. The next day, Emma and Charlie finally confront their DJ. Pauline denies using heroin on the streets, but it only escalates into an argument with Emma, which results in Emma firing Pauline. I just cannot picture Pauline as a DJ or a heroin addict. The wedding finally happens on Saturday. Guests are all smiles, but there's tension underneath it all. A new DJ is hired to replace Pauline. While Emma's father is giving a speech, he mentions how Emma became an activist for stricter gun laws. Rachel laughs way too loud at this. Suddenly, a loud sound echoes in the hall. Everyone thinks it's a gunshot, but it's just the DJ equipment malfunctioning. Rachel is already drunk and acting up, but she insists on giving a speech herself. She congratulates Emma and Charlie while mocking them at the same time. It's giving Karen. After that, Emma excuses herself. While in the ladies' room, she overhears Misha talking about a school shooting. Emma assumes that Rachel told Misha about it. Worried that other people know, Emma decides to confront Misha herself. However, Misha thinks that Emma is going to ask about her and Charlie, so she blurts out that it was Charlie who kissed her first. Surprised, Emma asks what happened, and Misha tells her the back-breaking truth. Afterward, the three return to the wedding hall as if nothing happened. Charlie then proceeds to give his speech, except this one is not the one he practiced. It's evident that Charlie is all over the place. Emma can't even look at him and remains distant. Charlie even mentions the intense bedroom activities between him and Emma.
We have like this amazing sex, and
Mike tries multiple times to save Charlie from messing up, but to no avail. The second-hand embarrassment is too much. At the end of his speech, Charlie is already lost. He keeps apologizing to Emma. He says that she is the love of his life no matter what, and nothing is going to change that. He even admits he regretted making a move at Misha. When Blake, Misha's boyfriend, hears about what happened, he confronts Charlie and beats him up in front of everyone. The wedding reception is a grand mess. Emma escapes from it all and walks out of the venue alone. When everything is over, Charlie is covered in blood and bruises. He goes home to find that Emma is not there. He tries calling her, but she's not answering. Charlie breaks down in tears. He plays their favorite song and imagines he's dancing with Emma. After the wedding, Emma wanted to eat at their favorite diner, so that's where Charlie went. A few moments later, Emma shows up. Charlie can't believe Emma's in front of him. He keeps apologizing and confessing that he loves her so much. When Emma finally speaks, she pretends as if they're meeting for the first time. She introduces herself, and Charlie does the same. Though they are both in tears, Charlie understands what's happening. They're going to try it again, like it's the first time. Just like when they first met, they're going to give each other one more chance to get things right. This movie was heavy. I can't begin to justify Emma's thought process in wanting to shoot up a school, but Rachel acted so above her. I personally can't be with someone who wanted to shoot up a school, but I also couldn't stay with Charlie after knowing he kissed someone else just days before the wedding. An absolute mess, and I'm not sure if the couple would last that long. What would you guys do in this situation? And what did you guys think of this one?
Hey, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe now and turn on the notification because YouTube isn't recommending my videos. And if you like to watch more foolishness, click here or here.